Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari is currently meeting with members of the National Peace Committee behind closed doors. The meeting, which is holding in Abuja, has in attendance John Cardinal Onayekon and Bishop Matthew Kuka, among others. The meeting, according to the committee, is a move to douse rising tension in the country following the announcement of President Muhammadu Buhari as the winner of the February 23rd presidential elections. President Buhari was declared winner after results shows that he polled over 15 million votes across Nigeria's 36 states. Now, before meeting with President Buhari, the National Peace Committee met with candidates of the opposition People's Democratic Party. The committee, led by its chairman, Abdul Salam Abubakar, are appealing to Atiku Abubakar to accept the results of the presidential election. Atiku, who polled over 11 million votes during the elections, is alleging widespread irregularities. He has vowed to challenge the result in court and take back his mandate. But the committee is urging the former vice president to avoid going to court and accept the result. Speaking with journalists after the meeting, chairman of the commission said they had to address the disagreement to ensure peace in Nigeria. And in the same vein, hundreds of women have rallied in Abuja on Friday to appeal to the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, to concede defeat. Now, under the aegis of Women for Democracy in Nigeria, the women are demanding that Atiku Abubakar follows the footsteps of former President Goodluck Jonathan and congratulate President Muhammadu Buhari for his victory in the 2019 presidential election. They say the election is a contest between two brothers and that they shouldn't allow the result cause chaos for Nigeria.
With this configuration in mind, the foremost opposition candidate in the election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), not to shy away from playing this role. This requires that he is seen as putting the interests of Nigeria first, a requirement that has been made even more important by unscrupulous persons waiting in the wings to exploit any contentions over the polls to their own dark advantage. We therefore call on Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to emulate the statesmanship of President Jonathan and quit his ongoing disruptive stance on the election. There has been a series of calls on him to call and congratulate President Buhari as the winner of the election, which would infer that he would be, by consequence, give up any legal challenge of the election result. We are tempted to align with the first half of this demand that Atiku calls President Buhari to offer his congratulatory message. But we will not suggest that he forfeit his right to seeking judicial redress. He is very free to approach the court to ventilate his grievances. What is unacceptable, however, is the adoption of positions and making of utterances that are being interpreted by his supporters and party members as a call to violence.
President Muhammadu Buhari has been speaking on his plans for Nigeria over the next 4 years. Addressing cabinet ministers who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja, the president said his new administration will remain focused on his three-point agenda of security, economic recovery, and the fight against corruption. Buhari also added that more emphasis will be placed on agriculture and other sectors to boost the economy and end its dependence on oil.
The rainy season were good. The states, some of the state governments were very, very active. Lagos, Ogun, Kebbi, Jigawa, Ebonyi in particular, that we don't now, I think, import rice. And the savings from rice in terms of foreign exchange, we are plowing it back in the budget and doing the infrastructure, which is a very good thing because the oil sector is becoming very, very difficult to predict. It's unpredictable, and depending on it, make us materially insecure. But thank goodness, agriculture comes to savings. We hardly notice that the fluctuations in oil price and the insecurity in the area do not disrupt our plans. We thank.
The All Progressives Congress APC has suspended Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu and his Imo counterpart Rochas Okorocha from the party. Now, this decision was taken by the National Working Committee of the APC on Friday following allegations of anti-party activities levied against them. APC spokesman Langre Isaonyulu, who confirmed their suspension, said the committee further recommended the expulsion of both governors to the National Executive Council of the APC. Meanwhile, members of the People's Democratic Party in the Southwest are accusing the All Progressives Congress of masterminding the electoral violence that was witnessed during the Saturday presidential elections across the country, particularly in the Southwest. The national chairman of the Southwest PDP, Olorugun Olafeso, made the claim during a press conference in Lagos. The party also vowed to reclaim what it described as its stolen mandate.
We are all witnesses to the abuses that characterized the general elections of Saturday, 23rd February, and the double standard which ensured that electoral guidelines adopted for the election guaranteed different approaches to its conduct, both in the northern and the southern part of our nation. We also know the violence that characterized the elections across the Southwest. We've mentioned that of Lagos. We have Oyo and Osun states. It is important to state loud and clear that those crises were perpetrated by members of the APC who were so scared of defeat they would have suffered in those places where they prosecuted their violent agenda. The recourse to violence was dictated by the reality that they were set to lose the elections to PDP and quickly resorted to hooliganism and thuggery in those states to abort the will of the people. The party leadership in the Sabredos family declared that His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and the National Working Committee of the party must immediately commence diligent prosecution of actions to expose the fraudulent election with a serious view to reclaim the stolen mandate.
Still on electoral matters, the lawmaker representing Abia North in the upper chambers, Senator Mao Ohabunwa, wants the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to declare the National Assembly election inconclusive. Speaking to TV360 Nigeria on Friday, Senator Ohabunwa demanded that INEC respect Nigeria's electoral laws and fix a date for a rerun of the election. Former Governor of Abia State, Orji Uzokalu, was reported to have won the National Assembly election after polling the highest number of votes, but Ohabunwa insists the results are not valid by law.
No declaration and no return was made as regards Abia North senatorial elections. What was announced was results they collated. I'm not here as usual to complain as regards the results. But what I'm saying is that INEC should obey its own laws and regulation. Because if I want to complain, I would begin to talk about my ward, my unit, where result was cancelled. You can't believe that my unit, my result was cancelled, my ward result was cancelled, the entire local government. INEC collated results, and by their law, when there is a difference that is far below the number of results cancelled, automatically that becomes inconclusive. It doesn't require any interpretation or any litigation. So they collated results, even when these results were not collated at the ward collation centers. They moved from the unit straight to the local government collation center, which is also an aberration, which is wrong, because by rules, you should move from the ward from the PU to the ward collation, then from ward collation to the LGA collation, then from there to the constituency collation center. That was not done in the case of Abia North, especially in Bende.
Nigerian workers are urging President Muhammadu Buhari to sign the new national minimum wage as soon as it's ready. The request was made by the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria in a congratulatory message sent to the president. The message, signed by the Secretary General of the association, Bashir Lawal, noted that the bill had already been approved by the House of Representatives, hence it shouldn't take too long to be signed. Lawal, however, commended the president for ensuring timely payment of workers' salaries in the past. Moving on, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced that it would hold supplementary elections on March 9. That's alongside the governorship and state houses of assembly elections. The National Commissioner and Chairman for Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, said this in a statement issued on Friday. In the statement, INEC revealed that the decision was taken at the end of a meeting held with resident electoral commissioners. It adds that the supplementary elections will be conducted in all areas where elections did not take place and where returns could not be made. Now, still on electoral matters, INEC has confirmed that some members of its staff were abducted and raped during Saturday's polls. INEC Commissioner for Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, who confirmed this, said while elections was generally peaceful, there was high level of violence in a few places. The commission also condoled with the families of its ad hoc staff who lost their lives while on national assignment. The commission, however, condemned the conduct of some security agencies during the polls. Okoye says the matter will be further discussed directly with the Inspector General of Police within the ambit of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. Now, the EFCC has rearranged the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Paul Usoro, before a federal high court for fraud. Usoro is standing trial on 10 counts bordering on fraud to the tune of 1.4 billion naira. He's been arraigned alongside the Attorney General of Akwa Ibom and 4 others in the state. Taking the dock, Usoro pleaded not guilty to the charges preferred against him. The case judge, Justice Ruwan Akawa, has now ordered the arrest of the other 4 defendants who were absent in court and adjourned hearing of the matter till March 18 and 19. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says it has received a fresh batch of Nigerians who were stranded in Libya. NEMA coordinator for Lagos, Idris Mohammed, confirmed to journalists that the migrants, numbering 326, arrived to the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in 2 batches. He says the first batch comprised of 143 returnees, while the second batch was made up of 183 Nigerians. Given a breakdown of figures, Mohammed explained that the returnees comprise 291 adults, 8 children and 27 infants. He adds that they were brought back by the International Organization for Migration through its Assisted Voluntary Returnees Initiative. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says 23 new cases of Lassa fever were recorded between February 18 and February 24. NCDC's Chief Executive Officer, Chikwe Ihikwazu, announced this in a statement on Friday. Now, according to that statement, 1,279 suspected cases have been reported from 32 states and the Federal Capital Territory from January 1st to February 24th, 2019. And it adds that 381 of this figure were confirmed positive, 15 probable, and 858 negative. The statement adds that 83 deaths have been recorded since the outbreak of the disease in 2019. The Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, has erected a change in the name of the unit, Public Complaint Rapid Response Unit, PCRU, to Complaints Response Unit, CRU. The order was contained in a statement issued on Friday by the force headquarters in Abuja. According to the statement, the decision was taken as a result of a recommendation made by the pioneer head of the unit, Abayomi Shogunle. It adds that the recommendation followed feedback from the public and stakeholders working with the unit on police accountability in Nigeria. The CRU was established in November 2015 to run a community-oriented complaint management system through which citizens' complaints against officers are addressed in real time. I will take a break here to bring you more in business and the foreign scene. Do stay with us.
Corruption not in my country. What's your name?
Also there Morifi. May you check your own list, cause the list where they outside. Or not say the name never do.
Your name is Honoriode. You even went as a fashion designer.
As you don't come back, so now I won't go as Akpobori Ovi, and Ovi won't go as pilots.
That is impersonation.
My own share for the national cake be that.
Mr. Onosode.
Akpobori.
The Amnesty Program is an intervention project for sustainable economic development of the Niger Delta, which you are a beneficiary of, lying under pretext for your selfish gain and advantage is robbing others of the same opportunity. And that is an act of corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
To news now on TV360 Nigeria, and we have Fidelia Agunta standing by for news in business.
Thank you, Annette. No fewer than 79,850 prepaid meters were supplied to households across the country in 2018. Latest data from the power sector report of the National Bureau of Statistics for the fourth quarter of 2018 shows that the total number of electricity consumers with prepaid meters stood at 1,615,066 in the second quarter of 2018. The statement adds that by the fourth quarter, it totaled 1,669,675 prepaid meters. The prepaid meters was distributed by 11 Nigerian electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, and this is despite a 4.6 million metering gap in Nigeria. The importation of refined petroleum products will decline in March 2019, and this is according to the latest shipping position report released by the Nigerian Port Authority. The report also noted that out of the 26 vessels expected into Lagos port between now and March is conveying premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, compared to the previous 2 months of February, when a total of 23 PMS-laden vessels came through the Lagos port prior to the election. The expected import is said to be the lowest volume of PMS to arrive the country in a while. And oil prices were broadly steady on Friday as surging U.S. supply and concerns of a global economic slowdown were offset by falling OPEC output. Brent crude futures were at $66.39 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures were at $57.38 a barrel. Meanwhile, traders said oil markets were currently tightening. In Venezuela, oil exports have plunged by 40% to around 920,000 barrels per day since the U.S. government slapped sanctions against its petroleum industry on January 28. Now, this drop comes as the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, of which Venezuela is a founding member, has led efforts since the start of the year to withhold around 1.2 million barrels of supply to prop up prices. Well, up next is the stock market review. Don't go away. Well, after 4 days in the red and dropping by over 360 billion naira in value, the Nigeria Stock Exchange recorded its first gain for the week, upping by 0.34%. The gain was reflective on various sectors of the market, with the exclusion of the insurance index, which closed in the red, declining by 0.44%. Now to the pack of gainers. Leading the pack of gainers is Nestle, which arguably suffered the most from the red days seen in the market. And now, after declining by a combined 100 naira, Nestle is today appreciating by 40 naira. It is closely followed by Total, as we can see right here, appreciating by 5.62%, Dangote Cement and CNI Leasing Company. While on the flip side, that is the pack of losers. We can see that a 0.08% gain in the consumer goods sector did very little to save most equities in that sector from closing with losses. In fact, the gainers chart, as you can see right here, is dominated by equities from the consumer goods sector, with Unilever leading the pack. Let's now move on to the tables and summary, and we can see that the value of shares traded today comes in at 3.7 billion naira, with over 4,500 deals transacted in the course of trading. And on the global scene, the Dow, FTSE and Nikkei shared the same fate as the Nigeria Stock Exchange, closing with gains. FTSE is rising by 0.45%, the Dow by 0.10%, and Nikkei by 1.02%, and that's the highest of the three of them. Well, it's back to Aneta. That's all in business.
Fidelia Agunta there with the latest in business. Let's now bring you up to speed with what's happening around the world after this.
Madam, welcome. Okay, madam, no worry. When you deliver the balance, we'll give you the goods.
No problem, no problem. All right, so now well done.
Thank you.
Hey, Oga, I still say she don't bring money. Maybe we use this one for him now.
She wants mahogany, not white wood.
Oga, our work now to join wood together, deliver whatever to customer. Put the remaining profit for pocket.
Abba! This is corruption, not in my country. Corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
You're welcome back. Saudi Arabia has stripped citizenship from Hamza bin Laden, the son of slain al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, the Interior Ministry confirmed in a statement on Friday. This follows an offer by the U.S. State Department of up to $1 million for information leading to the identification or location of Hamza. The department said Hamza has climbed the ranks of al-Qaeda and is set to become its leader. Hamza has released several online messages since August 2015, calling for attacks on the U.S. and its allies. The threats are meant as revenge for the 2011 killing of his father, according to the statement which was released on Thursday. Now, the captured Indian fighter pilot who was attacked by a mob and then paraded on video by Pakistan's army has been released, and that's according to Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. Khan said his release is a peace gesture. A senior Indian Air Force official has welcomed the move but added that Islamabad was simply following international norms around prisoners of war. The pilot was captured after his MiG-21 fighter jet was shot down during an aerial skirmish between the air forces of the two countries in the disputed region of Kashmir. Let's talk sports now, as the Super Falcons have recorded their first point at the Cyprus Women's Cup after defeating Slovakia 4-3. The African champions are using the tournament as preparation for the forthcoming 2019 FIFA World Cup in France. The Super Falcons had lost 1-4 to Austria in the opening game of competition played on February 27, and Nigeria needed to avoid defeat if they were to progress to the next round of the tournament. The female team now has a chance to book a place in the knockout stage of the competition when they face Belgium in their final group game scheduled for the GSZ Stadium Lacana on Monday, March 4. Now, Chelsea manager Maurizio Sarri has refused to confirm whether Kepa Arrizabalaga will return to the team at Fulham on Sunday after his controversial keeper was cast into exile following his Wembley mutiny. The Spaniard was disciplined over his extraordinary refusal to be substituted when he went down with cramp in the closing moments of last weekend's League Cup final defeat against Manchester City. Sarri said Kepa, an Argentine veteran Caballero, will share goalkeeping duties in the next two games, with one playing on Sunday and the other one in next week's Europa League last 16 first leg with Dynamo Kiev. You're now up to date on what's happening around the world on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Do watch other interesting programs on our YouTube channel, and of course follow us on all social media pages. It's TV360 Nigeria. I am Annette Felix. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.